Okay, hi everyone. So today we're going to be discussing the paper 3 questions. Okay, and we are going to, I hope you have your answers with you ready, especially the ones that I've already marked, so that in case you need to add marks or anything, kan, try lah. Okay, try to find places maybe I marked wrongly ka, or maybe you feel that you deserve a mark here lah. Okay, question one. Question one is a normal question, the graph question. Okay, student carries out an experiment to investigate the relationship between the image distance and the linear magnification. Okay, so because of that, this is obviously the manipulated variable and the responding variable. Cuma mana satu kita belum tahu lah. Okay, it could be that the image distance is responding, linear magnification is manipulated, we don't know. But we know that these are the two words that you want to put in. Okay, image distance and linear magnification. Okay, then blah, blah, blah. The experiment is shown as here. The first situation is U equals to 15. Okay, and then the good thing is over here, they already show you how to calculate V. Okay, so right at where this reading is, V is from 0 until wherever lah. So tinggal kau baca ini saja. Okay. Then the above procedure is repeated with this one. Linear magnification is this. Okay, M equals to V over U. And you don't have to convert it into meters lah. Just change it to, keep it as centimeters is fine. Okay, so diagram 1.2, 3, 4, 5, 6, page 3, 4, and 5 show the reading of the meter ruler when the image distance is measured. Okay, so you have all these readings over here. All right. Now, so for the experiment described on page 2, okay, identify the manipulated, responding, and constant. Now, we know that from the first line of the experiment, okay, we know that ini adalah the first and the second question punya answer lah. Okay, but problem is we don't know what is it actually, mana satu yang sebenarnya. Okay, because over here it looks like yang manipulated adalah object distance and the responding is the image distance. Okay, object distance and image distance. Hold on now. Okay, so oh yeah, actually you're right. So okay, the manipulated variable, I will accept two kinds of answers lah. Okay, if you go with the conventional one, okay, which is the object distance, okay, and the responding variable is image distance, I will accept. I mean, this is the standard one lah, sebab yang berubah-ubah adalah object distance. Okay, and then the image distance is the one yang kamu measure. But because the question says to investigate the relationship between, okay, the image distance and the linear magnification. Okay, and this is maybe somewhere where I may have done that wrongly lah. Okay, so since the graph is V against M, okay, so if this is V against M, okay, I will accept okay, if your manipulated variable, oh dear, okay, if your manipulated variable you put as linear magnification, I will accept. Okay, because that's the graph. Linear magnification and image distance. Ini saya terima. Okay, you can put object distance and image distance. This is the standard one. The safest of them all is these two. Okay, but if you put the manipulated variable as linear magnification, saya pun akan terima. Okay, now the constant variable, there are only three that I will accept. Okay, the first one is the thickness of lens, okay, focal length, okay, of lens, or the power of lens. Okay, these three is the only ones that I will accept. Okay, but the one that I see most common, although I have mentioned it many times that you must never use this word, okay, is the word type of lens. Okay, no more, please, no more. Okay, the word type of memang tidak akan diterima. So it's like you putting down an answer which you know is wrong, but you're just putting it down to try your luck. No need to try your luck. Okay, the moment we see type of kan, type of whatever, so we don't see anymore. Okay, memang tidak akan diterima. Especially lens lah. Lens is usually focal length, power lens, because you don't change the lens. Okay, so please set it in your mind in the future for paper 3 kan, never write type of. Okay, because you cannot measure. Dia tidak boleh diukur. Thickness of lens can be measured by a ruler. Focal length of lens can be measured by ruler. Power of lens can be measured by ruler and then calculated. Okay, all these things can be measured. Type of lens is not a physics answer. Okay, so we will never accept this answer. Those of you who answer type of lens, which is quite a majority of you, okay, please learn from this. If it is lens, okay, we usually know this as the constant variable. Okay, so, please take note of this now. All right, based on the diagram 1.2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 on page 3, 4, and 5, record the reading of V and calculate the M of U and V. Then tabulate your results. Okay, so this is where I get very annoyed because the instruction is very clear, kasih tabulate tau. Even if you don't understand the English kan, the Malay says jadualkan lah. Okay, yet some people can still give me diagram 1.2. U equals to blah blah blah, V equals to blah blah blah, M equals to blah blah blah. And then now after that, they expect a full mark because their reading is correct. Did you follow the instruction according to the question? No. Okay. And then some even smarter, they think they write like this, right? Then after that, they write it in a table like this. And this is called a table. Okay, diagram 1.3. U equals to yada yada, V equals to yada yada, M equals to yada yada. Then after that, they close the table. Wow. Your head. Okay, who teach you the table like this one? Nobody. Okay, only you teach yourself or your useless tuition teacher teach you one. Please. Okay, tabulate is already given, so obvious is U, V, and M. Okay, I cannot, if I've made this question so much easier, I tell you already the order in which you should be writing. Okay, so people take note of how a table should be written. U/CM, okay, V/CM, linear magnification got no unit. Okay, now so the values will be 15.0, 20.0, 25.0, 30.0, 35.0. Okay, and then the V with 32.0, 21.2, 17.4, 15.4, and 14.5. Okay, I should have copied and pasted this. Okay, linear magnification 2.13, 1.06, 0.70, 0.51, and 0.41. Okay, hold on. Okay, so this is how an actual table should look like. Okay, in any physics experiment lah. Okay, so just to remind you that in paper 3 kan, it is an experiment paper tau. So these are basic experiment skills. If you ever dream, if your interest is to study engineering or anything in the sciences in the future, okay, please learn how to do table lah. Okay, because when you do a lot of experiments kan, you're going to embarrass yourself if your table is like this. Okay, this is an embarrassing table. This is a sad excuse for a table. Please. Okay, this is the table that I have taught since the beginning of time and I want you to do this. Okay, so how do you get 7 marks for this? Okay, how do you get 7 marks? So first of all the values of V are correct. Satu markah. Decimal places correct. 1 decimal place only because, okay, so some of you you put 2 decimal places, 21.20. Okay, so let me ask you, if you use 21.20 for this, Okay, 21.20 bahkan. Because here you see 21.2, kan? Tapi kamu letak dua tempat perpuluhan. So my question is, can you show me where is 21.23 on this ruler? Can show or not? Cannot. If you cannot show, then you shouldn't be putting the second decimal place. Because itu adalah langkah maut. The ruler is only one decimal place. So your decimal place must reflect the alat. Okay. This is something that most people, maybe because you get confused with admets, because admets also got this strange rule about decimal place. But be very careful about this lah. Okay, one decimal place only I allow. So if everything one decimal place, okay, saya bagi satu markah. Most people will forget to put the decimal place here lah. Dia letak 32 terus. Okay, not so good. Okay, another 2 marks is all the values of M are correct and all the values of M are same decimal places. Whether it is one decimal place or two decimal place, I will give 1 mark. But I will, kalau kamu bagi jawapan dalam one decimal place, ini akan mempengaruhi kamu punya graph. Your graph will be wrong, slightly wrong lah. Okay, because of the one decimal place. So I will not penalize you here, but I will penalize you in the graph. Okay, so kalau sini kalau tak one decimal place and I didn't take this correct, okay, please take note lah. Okay, the last 3 marks, U, V, and M. Okay, you put it in this order correctly, means susunannya betul, satu markah. Okay, U, V, and then M. Bukanlah kalau letak apa V, M, and U or M, U, and V, okay, or whatever kind of weird jadual kan, tak ada. Okay, all units correct, 1 mark. Centimeter, centimeter, meter. Okay, and then finally, everything is decimal places. Oh, okay, everything decimal places. Okay, decimal places correct is 1 mark. All right. Okay, I want to comment about this, okay, pasal ini. Sebab saya pernah cakap ini, tapi saya masih lagi nampak. I still see a lot of people doing this, U dan kurungan CM. Okay, now in your UP2, saya sudah cakap, kita standardize, okay, I have standardized this for all my students. I want you to write it like this, U/CM. Even if you don't write the beginning, doesn't matter. But ini, I want it to be slash, no more kurungan-kurungan begini. So those of you yang tulis kurungan, kalau saya tanda betul, is only because saya kasihan dengan kamu lah. Okay, but actually you should be doing this. Okay, we stick to this. All right, after that, you're required to draw the graph. Oh, hold on, somebody is coming in. Okay, after that, you're required to draw the graph. Okay, and then the graph is 5 marks. Now, 5 marks doesn't mean other 5 points sahaja. You need to have fulfilled all 7 criteria. There are 7 criteria for the full 5 marks. Okay, and I'm going to write this down again lah. Okay, so the first criteria is your X and Y axis is labeled correctly. Sini V, sini M. Okay, there are still some people, they write M here and V here, which I'm like, okay. All right, secondly, V against M, right? Yeah, draw a graph of V against M. Okay, so criteria number 1, V and M are labeled correctly. Criteria number 2, centimeter, units are given correctly, M got no centimeter. Okay, yeah, so I don't know where you get the unit from lah, which is very sad. Criteria number 2 is ada unit yang betul. Criteria number 3, your skala di sini kan adalah sekata. Okay, and I think most people did this quite well. So the 0.4 until 2, and then here after it's 14.5 until 32. Okay, usually we always start with 0, 0 lah. Okay, then after you label, tat, 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 tat. Kalau saya nampak sekata, you get the third tick. The fourth tick, okay, the fourth tick is all 5 points are correctly plotted. Okay, ini plot dengan betul. Actually, you know what? Not just the fourth tick, the fourth and the fifth tick. Okay, plot dengan betul. Kalau semua plot dengan betul, you'll get 2 ticks. If one of it is wrong, okay, then you get 1 tick. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 6 is best fit. Okay. A line of best fit is the 6 tick. Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, the graph should be like this lah. Okay. Am I right? This is the graph, right? Sorry, I don't have the graph here, but I think it should be this. Okay. Now, this last one is where most people hilang markah di sini lah. Okay. Your graph is too small. The last tick is the size of the graph. Okay. Size of the graph must be big enough. Okay. Big enough. Okay. So what is big enough? Okay. Big enough is at least 5 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. At least 5 squares horizontally. That means sini sampai sini kan mesti 5 kotak. Atau sini sampai sini mesti 5 kotak. Okay. The graph, not the scale. I'm talking about the graph. The graph must be 5 squares. Okay. Either sini sampai sini 5 squares. Okay. Atau sini sampai sini 5 squares. And when I say square, means 2 centimeter times 2 centimeter square lah. Okay, jangan juga yang kecil-kecil itu please Okay, because your graph is, every 2 cm, okay, is 1 square. Okay, every 2 cm is 1 square. So I needed to have at least 5 squares, either horizontally or vertically. Then I would consider it big enough. Okay. In this particular scheme, okay, dalam skema pemarkahan ini, dia cakap begitulah. But the usual standard is usually 3/4 of graph paper. Okay, this is the standard that all science papers, we hold on to this standard. Okay, 3/4 of graph paper. So actually kan, there are some people your graph, this is the graph paper kan. This is the graph paper you draw. And then you put your graph right in the center over here. And then the graph is so tiny that it's so cute. Okay, no, cannot, please. Okay, make the graph as big as possible. Okay, this rule is the same as maths and the same as maths, except that in maths and maths they give you the scale. Dalam physics they don't give you the scale. You have to figure out the scale on your own. Okay, which is a little bit of a problem lah. Okay, all right. Based on the graph in 1C, state the relationship between V and M. The relationship will be V is increasing linearly, okay, to M because of the shape of the graph. Okay, I don't award marks if you just write the word increasing linearly. Okay, I want this to be a full sentence because I have already mentioned this and I want it to be full sentence. If you just write increasing linearly, then I'm like, what is increasing linearly? I don't know. I don't know what is increasing linearly. I don't know. Okay, M is increasingly linear. Sorry, kalau sini yang M, sini yang V pun salah. Okay, because V adalah responding variable. So V is increasing linearly to M. Is the only answer I will accept. Okay, but the one yang betul-betul saya tidak tahan lah, okay, is the word orang yang tulis increasing linearly saja. Lepas tu mengharapkan satu markah penuh. Cannot Okay, you need to tell me the values that are increasing linearly. Okay, so 16 lah. 16 marks altogether. I think in the entire 2 classes that I have taught, only 3, I think only 3 or 4 people managed to score a 16 or 16. Okay, most people hilang markah because of the table or because of the graph. One thing about the table or the graph. Okay. All right, question number 2. Okay, question number 2. Blah, 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 blah. Over here, question is, what will happen to the value of V as I increases? Okay, now, guys, I already mentioned, what will happen? The answer is only 2. Either the word is increase or decrease. But you see, what amazes me even more, okay, as I increases, Yeah, so this is something that even Cikgu He and myself, we cannot understand what happened lah. Okay, maybe something happened that make your eyes see this as a wrong, don't know what lah. A majority of you, okay, a majority of you answered V increases. Okay, yeah, a major. You know why I say a majority? Because more than 70% of you answered this with V increases. Bila I meningkat, okay, when I increases, okay, you say V also increase. Okay, salah, okay. The answer is V decreases. So my question is, how did you see this as V increase? It's like, wow, it's so obvious, or it's like, anybody can tell you that when I increase kan, V will decrease. Makin besar I, makin kurang lah V. And yet, majority, it's not just one or two random people. It's a majority of our students answered here, V increases. Okay, it is so ridiculous lah that you can get this wrong. I feel that this is a question that you shouldn't get wrong because it's so obvious. Okay, the answer is so obvious. It's right in front of your face. Macam mana lagi saya mau bantu kamu, kalau kalau ini pun kau boleh cakap V increases. Wah. Yeah, really. So this is also part of the reason why I had a big headache after marking lah, because I cannot understand how you can see these V increases. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to control my anger. Okay, student extrapolates the graph to determine. So very nice, the student already extrapolate for you. Okay, which is actually me lah. Okay, in a normal setting, this is a very unusual question because you're doing this exam online. Kalau sepatutnya kan you are supposed to extrapolate yourself and then you get the answer is 1.0 m. Okay, so the answer for this, nyatakan nilai, state the value from the graph. I will accept 1 or 1.0 volt. Okay, up to you lah, doesn't matter 1 or 1.0 volt. No unit, wrong. Okay, if you write 1 volt, I will accept. If you didn't write 1.0, if you didn't write 0.0, I can accept lah. Okay, name the physical quantity that represents the value in 2A. Okay, this is where I think we need to do a little bit of ulang kaji. Now, standard VI graph is this. Okay, this is Ohm's law. Okay, now in Ohm's law, the setup is like this lah. Okay, constant wire. Over here is the ammeter. Here is the voltmeter. Okay, this is Ohm's law experiment, and this is the standard graph for Ohm's law. Now, for a graph that has the same axis, V against I, tapi dia punya graph adalah decreasing linearly. Okay, the setup is like this. Okay, constant wire, ammeter, but the voltmeter is at the battery. Okay, because this one is to determine the electromotive force. Okay, so same graph, okay, cuma the setup is different and the purpose of the experiment is different. So the physical quantity that represents this is actually the electromotive force. Kalau kamu tulis EMF sahaja pun saya terima. Okay, I will accept it lah. Okay, 1 mark. Okay, so this is the only bahagian, probably one of the few bahagian in the paper 3 question that needs you to have knowledge lah. Okay, so if you didn't get it, most people answered voltage, which is like, okay, means you have forgotten lah. Okay, but I'm not I'm not so annoyed that you got this wrong lah. I'm very annoyed that this you got wrong lah. Okay, I feel it's such a waste. You shouldn't be getting that one wrong. Anyway. Okay, internal resistance of the dry cell is given by R equals to negative M. Okay, state 2 points on the graph. Okay, when you state 2 points on the graph, because the question is that, okay, I know in normal setting, the gradient question is draw the triangle and then after that calculate, bahkan. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and then the final answer with unit. That is the standard 3 marks. But because this is an online exam, okay, I had to change this question. So I want you to tell me the 2 points instead of drawing the triangle. Okay, so this is the prerequisite for the 2 points. You can choose whatever 2 points you want. Okay, you can choose whatever 2 points you want on this line. Tetapi, the distance between the 2 points, okay, must be at least 4 squares. Okay, either 4 squares horizontally or 4 squares vertically. Okay, a huge majority of you, you chose this dot and this dot. Okay, so this is only 2 squares and this is only 3 squares. So you will find that at the titik-titik yang kamu pilih itu kan, saya akan tanda salah because it is a small graph. Okay, remember the gradient must represent as much of the graph as you can. So the bigger the triangle, the better your answer will be, the more accurate. Okay, actually what you should do, you should try this, you use the biggest points, okay, the first and the last points, you use these points, you use a center point, I use this point and this point, and you use a very tiny portion here and here. Okay, you will find that at each stage, the gradient is different one. Yeah, when you calculate kan, you will find that kalau saya guna titik yang paling besar kan, dia punya gradient lain lagi daripada ini dan ini. Okay, there is a range. Okay, there is a range that is acceptable, but the acceptable range is only for when the triangle is big. Okay, so I will look at the points that you have chosen. And kalau saya nampak yang salah satu adalah 4 kotak, then I will give you the 1 mark. Tapi kebanyakan daripada kamu, most of you chose this point and this point because it's the easiest to read, right? But take a look at the triangle, people. 2 squares, 3 squares. It doesn't fit the bill. Okay, it doesn't fit the bill. So a lot of people hilang markah di sana. So the 2 points is 1 mark. Okay, the 2 points stated correctly is 1 mark. Substitution is 1 mark. Okay, kalau kamu punya 2 points salah, tapi kamu substitute dengan betul, saya akan tetap bagi kamu 1 markah. Okay, then the final answer, the final answer is between negative 0.68 to negative, negative 0.68 to negative 0.69 sahaja saya terima. Okay, with the correct unit, of course. Okay, and the unit is V minus 1. Oh no, sorry, VA minus 1. Kan VA minus 1. Yeah, V over here and then A over here. Okay, or actually if this one I can accept, atau the other one that is, if you know this one, it is ohm lah. Okay, it is actually ohm. Tapi kalau kau tulis VA minus 1, saya terima. Ramai yang tulis VI minus 1 lah. Okay, apa ini I ini? Tiada. A is ampere. Okay, I is the symbol, people. I is the symbol. Saya tidak mau symbol, ini unit. Okay, ini unit. Okay, so be very careful. VA minus 1, this is the only answer that I will accept, between negative 0.68 to negative 0.69. Okay, so most of you, most of my students, I noticed that when you answer this kind, you only got 1 mark here because the points that you picked were not correct. And then you gave the final answer with no unit. Okay, it's very rare, people. When you do gradient, must have unit. Okay, you need to figure out what the unit is. If you don't know what is the unit for ohm, use the graph unit. The graph kan dia ada bagi unit sedia. Okay, if you don't know what is a unit, take the unit from the graph. Okay, just make sure that the X unit kan you kasih negative 1 saja. Okay, determine the value of R by using R equals to negative M. Okay, so all you have to do is just change this negative to positive lah. It is 1 mark. Now, this one, if let's say your answer for B1 is wrong lah, contohnya lah, okay, let's say your answer for B1, you got negative 0.67. which is not in this range. Okay, so sini saya akan tanda salah, definitely lah, because it's not in this range. Tapi di sini kamu buat jalan kerja dengan betul. So you write down here R equals to 0.67. Okay, I will mark this correct because you are using the same value from 1. Saya tidak akan tanda salah lah. Okay, error carry forward. Okay, so we call this an error carry forward. That means you made the error, kamu buat salah dalam soalan pertama. You made the error in the first question. Okay, so we carry forward the error kan. So sini saya akan accept. I will not penalize you so many times lah. Okay, kau tidak akan didenda banyak kali itu. So don't worry about that. Okay, so error carry forward. So even if your answer is wrong, you will still get correct. But the actual correct answer, okay, is 0.68, between 0.68 to 0.69. Okay. All right. Electromotive force is given by this one, E equals to V plus IR. Using the values of E and R, okay, E, you have found it to be 1.0 volts. And this small r, okay, let's say I use 0.68 lah, because that's my standard one. Okay, 0.68. Ramai yang dapat 0.685 lah, also can lah. Okay. Let's say I use 0.685 lah. Okay, calculate the value of V when I equals to 0.9. So, most people didn't get this wrong. Okay, they use the value of EI and R correctly. For B2, need to put unit. Oh yes, thank you. So R equals to this one lah. Okay, ohm. Kalau kau letak VA minus 1, also I accept. Yeah, sorry, 0.68 to 0.69 ohms, okay, or VA minus 1. If you put VA minus 1, saya masih terima lah. Okay, but yes, must put unit. No unit wrong. Okay, yeah, that's why I said lah, physics kan is like selor dalam terlampau ketat bah. Okay, tiada unit terus salah. Tiada unit terus salah. This obsession with units is pretty crazy lah. But well, what to do? Okay, so when you do this calculation correctly, this is 1.0 equals to V plus 0.9 times, I'm using my gradient lah. My gradient is 0.685. Okay, but whatever value your gradient is, whatever value your R is, you should put in here lah. Okay, and according to mine, my V is 0.388 volt with unit. Okay, this is voltage, so definitely the answer is volt lah. I will accept any answer between 0.37 to 0.40. Okay, volt. Any answer between this one akan diterima. Okay, total external resistance R is given as V over I. Okay, you have calculated V, you have calculated I, so all you have to do is just calculate the value of R. I'm going to use my value. So R equals to 0.388 over 0.9 because it's already given 0.9. Okay, the answer is 0.422 ohms. Okay, and I will accept any answer between 0.42 to 0.44 ohms. Okay, so I want you to take a look at your answers. Yang ada range inilah. Okay, if I have marked wrongly and your answer falls in that range, okay, with the unit, okay, kalau tiada unit, don't even bother. Okay, if your answer is in the range but I marked wrongly and then there's no unit, you know why lah. Okay, it is not because your answer is wrong, it is because there's no unit. The moment I don't see unit, kan saya tidak tengok sudah itu nilai. I don't look at the value because what's the point of looking at the value? Kan, tiada unit out. Okay, tiada unit out. Okay, so if your answer falls in this range, okay, please come and check lah. Okay, come and ask me for that extra mark because I may have marked it wrongly. Okay, as I said lah, paper 3 gave me one of the biggest headaches because, okay, decrease. Okay, state one precaution that should be taken to improve. Standard precaution for electric is switch off. Okay, turn off the switch. Okay, to avoid overheating. Okay, turn on the switch, sorry, after every reading. Okay, to avoid overheating, that's the standard one. I want to, saya mau tegur orang, quite a number of you read this, did this, no, repeat the experiment. repeat the experiment, okay, and take the average value. Okay, if you have forgotten, it doesn't matter. I'm going to remind you once again. This precaution is no longer accepted. Repeat the experiment and take the average value. Tidak sudah diterima. Take it out of your brain. Don't memorize this precaution. Okay, repeat the experiment and take the average value for physics lah. Okay, I don't know about the other two subjects, but for physics, it is no longer accepted as a precaution. Okay. Another one that I see which is very good is make sure the eyes is perpendicular, okay, to the reading of the ammeter or voltmeter. Okay, doesn't matter lah. Okay, but I will still mark this wrong because you did not tell me why. Untuk apa? Okay, there must be a reason. Okay, what are you trying to avoid? To avoid the only error that I will accept for this is parallax error. Okay, ada yang tulis random error, ada yang tulis systematic error, which is even worse. Okay, eyes perpendicular to the reading of the ammeter or voltmeter is very specifically parallax error. Quite a lot of you gave me the precaution, but you did not give me the reason. Why are you turning off the switch? Turn off the switch for what? For fun. No, okay, you must give me a reason. Every precaution must come with a reason why you are taking the precaution. Okay, what are you avoiding? Are you avoiding parallax error? You're avoiding overheating? Okay, things like that. Please improve your precaution. Okay, now I'm saying this, saya cakap ini, dan ini mungkin bercanggah dengan cikgu-cikgu lain. I'm not sure. Okay, but I want to play it safe because I have noticed that certain years kan, they accept kalau tiada reason, and there are also some years where you must state the reason. No reason, terus salah. So let's play it safe. Okay, remember the reason. Okay, and of course the reason must be correct. So quite a lot of you gave me very good precautions. Precautions sudah betul, tapi kau tidak bagi saya sebab. So I will write down there wrong, and then I will ask why. Okay, bukan why are you wrong. I'm like, why are you doing this precaution? Okay, so please take note of that. Okay, I want to talk about these two controversial experiments. Okay, this of the two experiment questions, ini yang sebenarnya lebih susah. Okay, that this is actually a trick question, and quite a lot of you got this wrong. Okay, which is very sad lah. Okay, so this is how you should approach experiment question lah. So diagram 3.1 show two similar electric kettles used to boil water. The power ratings for the kettles are this. Okay, 240. I know the power ratings over here is not the correct one. Okay, but no matter what kind, the power rating is the same. Okay, dalam kedua-dua gambar aja. Okay, it is found that the water in the kettle boils faster. Okay, it is found that the water in the kettle boils faster than the water. So whenever you're talking about boiling faster, you're talking about time. Okay, quite a lot of you wrote increase in temperature. Okay, which is not correct because this is the pemerhatian. This is the observation that is found. It is found that the water in the kettle boils faster, okay, than the water in the this one. Quite a lot of you, which is I feel is very sad lah, because you had the experiment correct, but from the beginning, you did not answer the question. The question did not talk about increase in temperature. The question said boil faster. Whenever you talk about boil faster, you're talking about boiling time. I discussed this with Cikgu Hee to see whether we can accept the words increase in temperature. Cannot. Increase in temperature is a totally different experiment altogether. Okay. So state the suitable inference. Boiling time, okay, depends on mass of water. Okay. So ada juga orang yang tulis boiling time depends on the power rating, but the problem is the power rating is the same. Okay, dalam gambar aja. I know some of you were confused because dalam paragraph tulis 240, on the gambar aja tulis 220. But the fact of the matter is this kettle and this kettle, the power rating is the same. So how can you say it's affected by the power rating? Okay, it is affected by the mass of the water. Kalau kamu tulis quantity of water, I cannot accept lah. So very sad, sorry. So the variables are boiling time and mass of water. Once you have these two variables, you can write the hypothesis. The bigger the mass of water, the bigger the boiling time. Okay. And then after that, immersion heater, thermometer, Bunsen burner. Actually, this is also a mistake. There shouldn't be a Bunsen burner. Tapi kalau kamu guna eksperimen kamu with the Bunsen burner, I will terima lah. Okay. But immersion heater is the actual correct one lah, and thermometer. Okay. So the aim of the experiment, okay, is to investigate the relationship between mass of water and the boiling time. Okay, I've the variables are given over here. The variables are given over here. Okay, so I won't rewrite this again now. Variables. Okay, so the variables given, the constant variable, okay, the acceptable constant variable is the density of the water. Okay, is the one that I accept here. But I think there are several other answers that I accept lah. Type of water is definitely not acceptable lah. Okay, density of water, I will accept. Okay, list of apparatus and materials. Most of you got this correct. Actually, this one you can refer to the book. I will pass these answers over here lah. But saya mau tegur lah sebab ramai orang yang jawab ini increase in temperature, which is pretty sad lah. Okay. Okay. I want to talk about the procedure. Procedure, remember, it is a 3-step process lah. Okay. What is the first MV? Okay. What do you record? Okay. Apa yang kamu baca? And then what is the repeated MV? Okay. How many values of the manipulated variable do you repeat? So this one, you must state at least 4. Okay. At least 4 values. So if the mass of the water at the first one is 100 grams, then here is repeat the experiment using different masses of water. M equals to 200, 300, 400, 500. Mesti dinyatakan, okay, dia punya nilai, at least 4 other values. Okay, when you tabulate the data, keep it simple. Okay, put the manipulated over here, M gram, and then the responding is time second. Okay, sini kamu mesti isi 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Mesti diisi ke 55. Sini kas tinggal kosong. The way that you would analyze the data is just draw the graph. Okay, this is time, unit correct and quantity correct, mass gram. Okay, is 1 mark over here. Okay, tidak payah tulis ini pasal, okay, some of you are still making this mistake. You draw the axis kan, lepas tu you draw the graph. Don't draw the graph. Okay, please remember this. So most people that answered this question, you were wrong from the beginning lah. Okay, so you were wrong from the beginning. So most of you would have only gotten marks because of the list of apparatus and the arrangement of apparatus. Okay, so please take note. So I suspect that the reason why you got it wrong is because you failed to notice this lah. It is found that the water in the kettle boils faster. Okay, not if you want increase in temperature, this sentence will be, it is found that the temperature or it is found that the water in the kettle diagram 3.2 is hotter after a certain amount of time. Then you can talk about increase in temperature. But because we have the word boils faster, okay, then this is why we only would consider the time. Okay, the boiling time for this. Okay, but if you feel that you still deserve a mark, okay, then, come and show me your answer again. I will consider it. Okay, this one, this one is if you answered the SPP book, you would have gotten this up. This one, almost everything is identical to the answer in the SPP book. Okay, shows higher reading of emitter when you use more turns of coil. So higher reading of emitter, more turns of coil. So these are the two, this one lah. Okay, but the inference, okay, so the inference is induced current. Okay, induced current depends on the number of turns, okay, in the coil. Now, what if you didn't put the word induced current? What if you put the word current, which is a majority of the people who answer this kan, dia letak current saja. Current depends on the number of turns of coil. Okay. For this time, what I will do is I will mark everything correct. Tapi saya akan tolak satu markah sebab kamu tidak letak perkataan induce. So your total marks, I will minus 1 because you didn't put the word induce. Because everything after this is induce. No. Hypothesis is the bigger the number of turns of coil, the bigger the induced current. Okay. The variables, the aim of the experiment to investigate the relationship between the number of turns of coil and the induced current. Variables, responding variable, induced current. Semua mesti ada induced current actually. Okay, but for this time, okay, saya dengan penuh belas kasihan. Wow, baiknya hati saya. Okay, saya akan abaikan the word. If you didn't put the word induced, I will still mark it correct. But overall, I will minus 1. Because actually, asalkan tiada perkataan induce kan, memang satu eksperimen salah sudah itu. Most of the things you will get wrong. Okay, that is the actual marking scheme lah. Okay, according to the one that I've seen. Okay, it must have the word induce because this is not a natural current. Okay, this is a current that you induce. So it has to be induced current. Okay, induced current depends on the number of turns of coil. Hypothesis is the bigger the number of turns of coil, the bigger the induced current. Okay, the aim of the experiment to investigate the relationship between the number of turns of the coil, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the variables is given. Okay, constant variable. Okay, constant variable. If you are familiar with this experiment, which I suspect that most of you are familiar, it should be the height of the bar magnet release. Okay, because this is the experimental setup. So you have this. Oh no, sorry, hold on. Okay, so you have this, the retort stand over here. Apa ini? Sorry bila. Why Okay, so you retort stand, you have you have a pembaris meter di sini lah. You have a meter rule over here, and then over here is the magnet. Okay, and then here is the solenoid with the coil. Okay, yada, and then sambung kepada galvanometer. Okay, so over here is the set value of H. Okay, so this is the meter rule. Okay, yada. So the constant variable is this height, the height of the bar magnet release. This is the actual one lah. I think saya mungkin ada tanda betul lah untuk some other various constant variable, but I don't remember already lah. Okay, but this is the actual constant variable. Okay. All right. The procedure experiment is the same. Okay, you start with 10 turns. Okay, some people put 100 lah. Up to you lah. You start with a certain number of turns, then after that you drop the magnet, and then you read the reading on the galvanometer. Okay, or take the reading of the ammeter. If you put this ammeter also can lah, lagi bagus. Okay, you take the reading of the ammeter, and then after that you repeat the experiment using a different set of number of turns. Same thing okay. Okay, 400, 500, at least 4 other values. Okay, quite a number of you only put 3 other values. Sorry, this one I must mention lah. Okay, because this experiment is so familiar, right? Okay, this experiment is so familiar. I noticed lah that there is a trend among certain students kan. The experiment is almost identical lah. Okay, the experiment is almost identical. Maybe because I already gave the tips kan, and you know, oh, okay, one of the experiments is coming out as electromagnet. So you memorize all the electromagnet experiments. So quite a number of you when you repeat the experiment, you only gave me three values lah. And this student and this student and this student and this student, all the three values that you give repeat, right, is the same value. Okay, you probably memorize from the same book lah. Okay, I'm going to say the word memorize lah. I'm not going to use the other word. Okay, because I believe that you memorize lah. Okay, roll my eyes. Okay, so I believe that you memorize, but unfortunately, you memorize only three values. Okay, where actually it's supposed to be at least five values. For a valid experiment, you need to have at least five values. So quite a number of you got this wrong. Okay, so which goes to say what, which goes to say that at the end of the day, kan, whatever that you, whatever that is given in the books, is given in the books lah. Okay, it does not necessarily mean that it fulfills the exam standard. Okay, so which is why, ladies and gentlemen, please listen to your teacher when he or she is teaching. Okay, cause at the end of the day, okay, it is not the book that will carry you that will make sure that you get the fullest marks possible lah. Okay, the fullest marks possible come from all the tips and the tricks and the membebel and the cakap-cakap banyak-banyak that all the teachers give you. Okay, because marking schemes always change lah. Okay, the sad life of uh, uh, the sad life of teachers is that marking schemes always change, and we always have to remind our students that the marking scheme always change. So you cannot always follow the book 100%. Okay, so I really tabik lah. Saya tabik lah, betul-betul. Orang yang memorize all the experiments kan, until the last word, wah, sangat hebat. Okay, very good at memorizing. Even strange words that I've never seen you use before, also you use. But unfortunately, you need to make sure that it fulfills the marking scheme. Okay, so another one that I always see is this lah, number of turns. So number of turns is usually given the letter n, and then after that there's a unit behind that, n. So I'm like, what's the unit for number of turns? Number of turns is just a number, no unit, people. Okay, number of turns against current. Okay, kalau di sini is current slash A against number of turns. Okay, no slash. Okay, no slash for this. Okay, so I will give you, actually, you know what? I don't even have to give, I don't even have to give the marking scheme answers. You actually have the scheme. You know where's the scheme? The scheme is in this book. Okay, which is why I already told all of you before the trial exam, please go through this book. Okay, but oh well, I guess not everybody went through this book. Okay, anyway, the marking scheme is here. I will tell you the page for this marking scheme lah. Okay, in case you want to add more marks. Okay, so as I said before, today is the last day for physics. Okay, today is the last day for physics. If you want to add any marks, or you feel that you can appeal for any marks. Some of you are at the border. Okay, betul-betul di like satu markah lagi kan, kamu boleh tukar grade sudah kan. So try to look for marks lah. Okay, in paper 3. Paper 3 is actually not that easy to look for marks lah, because it's very strict. Paper 2 is easier, but mana tahu saya ada tanda salah. So kalau saya ada tanda salah, let me know lah. Okay, and then I will add the mark if I feel that you should add the marks. Okay, all right, I'm going to stop the recording.